He's giving us a little review on page Kuf Nun Vav. On page Kuf Nun Vav, I guess we'll start. We'll start on number Kuf Aleph. I don't know exactly where to start. So it says, until we mention this, Ein Keseder. So he's the fact that he says he mentions them. There's 6 of them. He has to start with one of them. Says it's not the ultimate order. But what they are, he says there's the first 6. So now he says there's the first 6. But actually they're scattered over everywhere. Scattered, one here, one there, like that, of the 50. Echad mekan ve'echad mekan. So also that. He says, fine. Va'ata, now he wants to go to this review. So he said, Va'ata, Nivar Seidach HaKavana B'Sfirvus HaOmer. Maske l'Rav D'Vachar V'Seidach HaKavana Shechad L'Matachas Shachad Dinim L'Maisa. Sech B'Ketzer Hu Seidach HaKavana B'Kol Yom V'Yom. B'Nakne L'Chavet B'Ketzer as a Mavur L'Cholon. What he's going to say. I guess it's an introduction. He says, Hine Shach 320. Ola K'Mizba Shiva Shem B'Savayim B'Midlu Elofim Ha'ola Ma. So it's 7 times Ma. V'hem Shiva Malchei Edom, and those 7 are the 7 Malchei Edom, and he names them now, which we have in our Tamuna, which is Bela, Yovev, Hosham, Hadad, Simla, Musa, Shaul, and Baal Hanan ben Achvar. Shehem HaSheva Sefirah Shenishbaro B'Olam HaTohu. These are actually the names of the 7 spheres that broke. Now, exactly, those are the names, of course, in the Chumash, but exactly what he meant, what the main names mean, I think we might have seen this someplace along the line, but I don't know. I don't remember. He says each one of them has all of the 7 in it, and that is our drawing that we have, that the Rabbi Atiyah brought us. And he says, Kagon HaMelech HaRishon is Bela. Call him Bela de Bela. So these are what Bela is composed of. Bela has 7 parts. V'yova de Bela, v'chusha de Bela, and develop, and so on and so forth. Nimsa sach minyan kol hamalachim. If you add them all up, kulam heim arba v'tesha. They're all 49. They come out to be 49. V'sheva shavuos elu. Nisakim b'kol shavuos v'melech echad. So in these 7 weeks, we are making a tikkun in every part of every one of the kings. So he's saying that of the 7 kings who died, they had 7 components, so to speak, of which include all of the other malachim. It's a deeper idea, but I don't know where else to go with it. It says, "Nenachem b'kol shavucha v'melech echad mechasheva malachim v'kol yom nisaken melech echad." So each one of them has 7 malachim in it. That's another way to say it. So we get the melech the Belach HaKlali has 7 parts, which are the names of the other kings, and they're all mesukin in the first week. The Seder Chatika Bepratos who should be Yom Rishon, the Shavu HaRishon, the Sangam Bela the Bela, B'Yom Sheni, Yova de Bela, B'chein Chala. So if you have your little safer, your little blue book, let me see if I can just get it out here. I wasn't prepared, but here is that drawing again. And you could see that when you go to Bela, so you go Bela de Bela, and then you go to the next shach, and it keeps going down. This is all the Belas of Bela. That's Yom Echad. If you go to the number base, it's going to be the Yova de Bela, going down like that, and all of them will have the different parts and the shach that's in each one of them. Now there's a little bit more to this. Let me see where I'm at. So he said, let's go back to the Tiv, and we'll read it like this. But the order is like this. Shebekal Shavua, Nesakim Bechinas Shak Echad Shalom. So every week, that's the idea he wants to say, is that one complete melech is Mesukan. I'm not sure what it means practically to us. It means that they're no longer no longer broken, and it allows for the flow of the light of the Ein Sof to come. You come straight down at us in that particular king, but there's 7 of them. And this part he says that each one of them, if you really look at it, they're all little parts of Ma. That's what broke. So if you go over the 7 days, so you come out to be able to make a tikkun in the 7 names of Ma. Ha'olim Shach, which come to the gematria 320. Of course, you had to add in B'tzirif Os Hey Hasharashis, you have to add that in there. Kamoshi is Bo'er L'Halon, as we're going to explain as we go along. B'Sedach HaGavanachu, so the actual order of the Gavana should be called Lailach HaGavana D'Sakim Ma Chalokim B'Sel Chashach. So what you're doing is every single night you're doing 45 portions of the 320. Now, he gets to 320 in a lot of different ways. The thing that gets me about the 320, at least when I think about it right away, I see that it's 10 times 32. Now, obviously, he's telling us it's also 7 times 45, and there's different ways to get to it. But I'm not sure how to touch these together. If it's the 10 times 32, then you have the Nesivas HaChochma, which we understand actually are Gevuros, that are bringing this down, but I'm not sure how that works or what it goes. Well, let's go on some more. B'layil Rishon, you say Ma Chalokim HaRishonim. So in the first night, you're going to do 45 different portions. B'layil Sheni Ma Chalokim Sha'acharehem. And let's look at the. I think he's going to go into a little bit better. Before I get into that. V'seidach Levana Chusha B'kol Laila Mekuvana D'Sakin Ma Chalocha Shebasel Chashach. B'leil Rishon Ma Chalokim Rishonim, B'leil Sheni Ma Chalokim Shacharechem V'cheim Hala. Milvad B'leil Shvi, but when you get to the 7th day, Shebo Misaknim Nun Chalokim. So then you get all 50 of the Chalokim of V'ofen Zeh, B'meshech over the course of Shivas Yimecha Shavua, the 7 days of the Shavua, the Histakin call Hashach Chalokim. Now, this, I really was trying to understand this before. Let me get this drawing back again in the Rabbi Atiyah book, Sefer. In each one of these categories, you have the number 45. And his words are, Heim Atzman Bechinas Melech, that's not it. I didn't make a mark where I wanted this to go. But he says that in each one of them, you're taking the 45 out of the spread. So in first place, in the first column, we would be dealing with the name Sag. You could do 5 times Sag plus a 5 will get you to 320 again. Over there, he says, out of that, you're going to take a 45. So I'm not sure his language, the 45, what the 45 means. The 45, of course, is Zer Anpin. So that's a part of Zer Anpin that we're making a tikkun, but we have to spread it out over the number 63. And so, therefore, we see that it's a kind of a borrow and save kind of deal where you split the Vav into 2 3s, and you can make this Yud K Vav, if it's a 3, into a 45. And they're all 45. So, still haven't quite understood it exactly, so I want to hear his words. Go back to the Tiv again. I didn't mark where I took off. Let's see. Let's try here. Let's go from Achain. I know that's a big spot. So let me see what Achain says. So he says, Achain, Ma'achashin is bar shalakol shar machamishim sha'arim yeshnam shach dinim la'atzman. So matzvo, each one of the sha'arim. So he says, sha'arim, he's talking about the 50. Nimser shalakol shar b'fnei atzbo yeshnam mem tes malachim shetzricha lehistakek. Each one of them has 49 parts that have to be, and he calls them the kings, that have to be rebuilt. V'chaseder hu shakol Shekol Adam Zark L'Sakim Es Shach Dinim Shal Hashar Shemisham Hu Shorish Nishmaso. So we heard that where the Rav said that the first shar was going to be, I guess the first one we learned, is going to be for the Marchu. He says over here that everybody has to do this. Like the Marchu. In that first one, the one that we have, it says that it's 5 times sag. Because sag, yeshnam sag nitzutzim, and each one of the sag, now here's another part, he says, each sag has sag sparks in it. Azai, so the sag is, let's say he says it represents it, it represents 63 nitzutzim. So you're going to have 5 times 63 nitzutzim here. Azai yesh lo l'kaven l'saken b'laylach harishon ma nitzutzim b'toch shem sag. So you take 45 away from 63. The sag harishon, asha kolo misag nitzutzim, that has within it 63 sparks. U'b'laylach hasheni yikaven l'saken ma nitzutzim no sofin. There's another way to get to this 45 too. The Hainu as a chelik shenishram b'sag rishon, and that's going to be the second day, is going to be what's left over. Shehem chai nitzutzim, which are 63 minus 18, will get you back down to 45. He says shenishram b'sag rishonim shehem chai nitzutzim v'ateshlumam sheb'sag hasheni. So then you'll fill them up with the second sag, kaf zayin nitzutzim, which we're going to have 23 nitzutzim and 18 and 20. Whoops, what happened here? What happened? He said something. Is that the end of the shiur? What time is it? It's not the end of the shiur. We'll start again at Kuf Nun Zayin, and we're on the brackets about 6 lines up for the bottom. But B'kol Shem Sag Yeshnam Sag Nitzutzim. Azai yesh lo l'kaven l'saken b'laylach harishon. So therefore, on the first night, you're going to take ma nitzutz and nitzutzim. So that's what he wants to say, is that you're going to make the first box into a ma. So how do you do that? There's in the first box is supposed to be a sag. So you put a sag in the first box. Then what you're going to do is you're going to split it up. So he said b'toch sav rishon. So you want to say that the 45 is represent, I think he means to say the 45 represents 45 of the 63 nitzutzim. Then you have some nitzutzim left over. There's another 45 sparks you're going to find over here. That is the portion that remains in sag, shenisha b'sag, that was left over, which happens to be a chai nitzutzim. And then the rest that are left over, the sheni, is which going to be leave you over 27 nitzutzim, and it's going to go like that. Whatever you have, it's going to be basically a 63, but it's going to be cut up from the previous one, which subtracted 45 out of the 63, and then it goes on like that. So what we're trying to do is gather up the nitzutzim. So he said, al derek zeh. So he says this is how it goes in this way. So what if your neshama is not from the first king? So you'll work on the shach according to that shar. He's going to explain this more. So we'll see down, we'll look at the Shefa Kavanos Mitzvah Shem. The truth is that we work on, our kavana is on the tikkun that would take place in each one of these kings. So just remember that when you're looking at the kings, you're affecting a tikkun over there in that king to find its 45, so to speak. To find a 45 nitzutzos that are hidden within the 63. So he says, excuse me, Shalamaisa anim mekavanim eseder chatikun shall call echad ve'echad v'shishach ha'shavarm shagilu don Rabbeinu Rizal. So each one of these 6 sha'arim, you're going to have a tikkun in it. Nimsa sha'anim mekavanim b'kol yom l'sakin shisha b'chinas ma. So therefore we have a kavana here, that every day we're going to take and we're going to make a tikkun in one of the 6 bechinos of ma that we were talking about previously. V'hinech b'kol shavua, every week, mekuvanim as a tikkun b'melech echad, melech acher, v'sheves ha'malachim ha'kolonim, of the 7 malachim, ulam seidach ha'kavana, the maisa who shava b'kol the shavuos. Now listen, what you're actually doing, and I'm not sure what he means by this, it's exactly the same, and every week. The hanish b'kol shavua v'yishvua, yeshna seidach kavana shava, so the way the kavana was, we're looking for the 45 within whatever it is, b'kol yom imecha shavua. Raksha b'kol shavua, but what it is that every week, mekuvanim shahatikun na'asa b'melech acher. So the process of finding the 45 in these boxes is going to be the same, but it's a different melech. Now let's go to number Lamed Aleph down below and see if we could follow this. He says, one second. So he says like this: Hine misha shorsh nishmaso b'shar harishona me'elach hashisha sh'arim haniskarim tzarek sheyikaven b'gavanas hashar hazeh. What does this mean? V'lamaisa keved da'anas yasmi the yasmi. We are the orphans of orphans. We are alone. And then the yidona me'ezach b'shar hu shorsh nishmasena. So therefore we're left out. We don't know what the root of our souls are. Okay, and see the Rishash, so therefore the way the Rishash looks at this, the Kavim b'kol Shavua as called the Shisha Sharishach, that every week you're going to think about all the 6 different, he said, calls them the gates of the Shach. And we're going back again. I haven't quite figured out how this works, but we're going back to the concept of the 50 Sha'arim again, but we have 6 of them. So we have 6 of them. So all of the 50, I guess what he's saying, are different aspects of the tikkun of the 45. That's what we're doing, all of the 50. It sounds like. So, but I can't really, what I'm having trouble with is thinking, projecting it, of something, say, like coming from the Mukhas Timah, the Eric Anpen, into Bina, developing into a 50, and then coming down and being manifest, supposed to be manifest, in the malachim, the Sheva malachim, but they break. So now that all that Sheva, that's where I'm trying to understand what the 50 is doing over here amongst the broken malachim. But that is it. We only have 6. But let me go back. Okay, and see the Rishash the Kavi b'kol Shavua as called the Shishish Arishach. So therefore, everybody does all of the 6 that we have. Shagida Harav Zal Marchu. I'll call upon him. So if you do this, at any case, so that for those people where the root of the neshama is coming from these 6 gates, that's all we have is the 6 of the 50. The sakin is a shak shal chashar shalachem, and you do this with the idea being that you're going to make a tikkun in your shar. So he said, "Ba'ofen shebakol laila beguvana desakim man nitzutzin shekol chashach minishach." So he says that every night that you're having the kavana. Let me go over the words again. The kavana desakim man nitzutzin. Okay, we already know that. Shekol shisha minishach. So we're always working on this 6 different times. Every night is going to be some aspect of that 45. V'yeshna tamua al kol sidur Ashkenazim. So then, what is this? The sidurim of the Ashkenazim. Which Ashkenazim does he talk about? And where do they fit? You know, Rabbi Keppel and the other names that he may mention here. Where do they fit in time? When did they? Maybe you might know. Maybe when were they? So the comment is v'yeshna tamua al kol sidur Ashkenazim. That write every single week the Kaven Rak Esashar Harishon, only to have the Kavana for the first night, the first gate. Like the Rabbi said, that is the Marchu. Shuhu Yakaven Rak Bezeh Hashach, that he had that only Bezeh Sarach Iyun. Now, I'm not sure what that means. So he says, why? The Vishloma Marchu Shagila. So it's like, he says, it's like the Marchu. Shagila lo Rabba Shashorsh Nishmasa Chuchu B'Shach Rishon Shafer Yesh lo the Kaven Rak as a Shar Hazeh. So then only do that one, because that's him. So that's the tikkun, that he is individually appointed to be misaken. So he says like this, Hazeh. So why would it be for us? That was for the Marchel. So the question is that why do the Ashkenaz do this? Where we saw over there, Al Chazor HaKodesh, what in Parshat Vayikra, B'Shem Ramaz, V'Nidmaz, V'Igeris and Ramaz. Okay, that's where the site references. The Gebalma Dishkol Osim HaGavonos, that the Gavon is like this. All of those Gavonos, Shematzah HaRav Zechel L'Marchu, Mo'ilos L'Kol Adam, all of those things, whatever was revealed, helps for every single individual, whether or not you're number 17 or 24 of the Sharim of the 50. We only have 6. So in those 6, you should have this Kavanah, the Hiyos of Marchu, Mibechinas Yisod the Ikri Kol. Because Marchu, he says, I don't know how you get this. He says the Marchu is the aspect of the Yisod, which is called Kol. So if you say the full, this is Shahakol is in there, everything is in there. Shuhu Kol Hakol, it has everything in it. So if you just, this is the answer of how it is that you just need to do one, because the one, let's read his words again. The Hiyos Marchum Bebechinas Yisod. So this Yisod, the first one that we have here, is the aspect of the Yisod, which contains in it everything. Shuhu Kol Hakol, that has within it everything. Ad Kan Lashon. So he says like this: so could be that in Google they're actually going to have Rav Keppel. I didn't ever look it up. Maybe you know when he lived exactly what it is. I'm always interested because of the attitudes that I see in Lithuanian yeshivas about learning Sod. Whenever you see someone who's Ashkenaz and he's learning Sod, then I think it's, if they're not Hasidim, I think it's special. Let's go on to the number Kuf Gimel, where we start, I think it starts spreading out a little bit. He said, Misha Shorsh Nishmasa B'Shar Rishon, Me'ela Chashisha Sha'arim HaNizkarim, Sark Sheyakavin B'Kavanas Shar Hazeh, that they had this Kavana, Lamatek Eila Chashach Dinim, and that's what he's trying to do. Of Lachalkam, B'Sheva Chalokim, and to take those Shach Dinim, divided into 7 different parts, Keneged Sheva Shavuos, according to the 7 weeks. Adam, because what are they? There's 7 times the name Adam, which is, of course, the gematria 45. Adam, one second. Adam, Kenizkar Le'el, Shehim B'Bechinas Malchi Edom and Nizkar Le'el. Let's go on to number Kuf Daled. Number Kuf Daled says, Sidron. This is their actual order. He says, when you say Al Sfiras Omer, you say that word Al Sfiras Omer. Kavin Ki Milas Omer, you've had this, he's going over something we might have seen in Rishash. Ki Milas Omer, Ki Begematria Shak. So he says, Kavanaso He, the Matek V'Lebasim Kanizkar, that's his whole idea. Let's go to Kufhe. But the Kavin, so you had this idea. Ki Eilach Hashach Him Chamisha Chavayas the Sag. This is another possibility. There are 5 different Chavayas the Sag. Shehem Shatu, which come out to be the number 315. V'im He Shababina Hare Shach, and if you take the He that's in Bina, that's going to give you Shach. That's where they're coming from. So moving on, number Kuf Vav, V'tzarak Lachalkam the Sheva Chalokim. So then what you need to do is you have to divide them into 7 different parts. So let's go down where he has a little dark print here, and it says the word Vihine. The Nitzutzos, and here's a new idea. They're really a reference to letters. What are letters? Letters are the The Bekol Os and Ramazim Ba Nitzutzos, there's a remnants of it in the Communion Hagimatria Shalak, like the count of his Gematria, which would, I think he means 45. V'seder HaKavanahu, the Kaveh Bekol Laila, Esa Osius the Shem Sag. So you have this idea of the letters in the name Sag. Shehem Keneged and Nitzutzos, so that there are letters in Sag. Sag is actually, well, what do we say? Letters in the name Sag is 10 letters. Shehem Keneged the Nitzutzos, which correspond to the Nitzutzos and the Saknim Ba'os Olayla Kufisha Yavur. So now he's going to go into this idea a little bit more. Va'ofen Zeh, so this is exactly how it happens. He says, La'il Rishon the Kaveh the Hamtek HaChelek HaRishon Shem Ma Nitzutzos. So we're going to take those. We're going to make a tikkun in the Ma. Once again, within the 63, and that's a question also, what is the 63? The 63 represents Ima, really. Ima is inside of Zeranpin. Zeranpin here is recognized as she's a 63, and he is, so to speak, a 45. Inside of that 63, let's say she gestates that, I'm making this up, but he says to gestate that, you find inside of it there's a 45. Nitzutza, to take 45 out of her womb, so to speak, the Sheva Pamim Ma, then you take 7 times Ma, which you're going to get in the week, Hem Chamisha Pamim Sag, which is 5 times Sag. Va'edach Yud Ke Vav, and here they are. V'od Chetzir Shel Vav, so then you split the Vav, Acharona, the final Vav in that sequence, Shehem Shlosha Nitzutzim, Vehem Nimtekuch Ma Nitzutzim, and that, as a result of that split, and the whole idea we're popping up this 45 is we're pulling the 45 out of the 63, Shuhu Adam Echad. So this is one man are the Malachim that died. Let's go to, just quickly, to number Leil Sheni. Leil Sheni can be different. The common Hamtik Shlosha Nitzutza Shenishara Me'os Vav Arichona. So you have to take the 3 parts, the 3 sparks, which he says are 3 letters. He says that you have to take them out of the Vav, that's the last letter in this split. V'tosef alechem shnei osius chai, so you put hey yud, add onto them the letters which come to gematria 15. Shall tishlum havaya rishona, you add those on. V'yihiru chai nitzutzim, and now with the 3 and the 15, you're going to have now once again 18 nitzutzim. V'od tosif, and then you can add on v'tikach mechavavach shniya, the sag you're going to take for the second havaya. Oros a yud vav dal and k yud, the osius, of these 2 letters. V'shnei nitzutzim shall os yud demilui hey, and with those that you had left over, hare adam sheni b'leil sheni. So let me go on a little bit more here as we are moving. That's it actually for today. That's the shiur. Thank you very much for coming back. Kol tov.